Hey guys, today we're going to go over the Dimensional Arena tier list that I have made. This tier list serves as a somewhat priority pick list, but it's not really as simple as it looks like. So here's the tiers breakdown. So we have always pick tier, which is going to be Hela, Victoria, and Jormungandr. As we know it, Hela provides insane attack boost given from her pledge passive, and she also increases team's overall HP by 100 million. 100 million in Dimensional Arena is pretty huge because there's no gear, there's no hope tree, there's no any stats really. The heroes are pretty squishy. It's all base, pretty much base heroes without any equipment. So giving everyone 100 million HP is pretty insane and gives them insane amount of survival. This is also absolutely insane in Dooms because Dooms do scale both with HP and both with attack, given how their synergy works. Another big thing that Hela provides is stun. So after Hela takes 5 hits, she applies stun to all enemies for 1 round. Because of this, you will want to have your own Hela in position 1. Another big thing that she provides is the Valkyrie Mastery, which means you will be picking any mastery that you want, so she's flexible and can fit literally any team. The very same goes for the Victoria, because Victoria also provides the survival and she also provides the defense and the attack. She will heal your team, she will give them defense, she will deal damage, so she has everything that Hela has, but in my opinion, slightly weaker survival, but a stronger DPS. That's at least from my experience, and again, you can just pick her own synergies, so she will fit any team. And then we have the Jormungand, which is in my opinion and in opinion of others, the same tier as Fate Heroes. And the reason why is because she will grant allies immunity to instance of skill damage triggers 2 times per round, and after the immunity she will grant them attack and HP by 10 million, and 10 million is insane, especially if you can trigger this a lot of times. Like it's not really balanced. She also provides skill amplifications, so both basic attacks works, any skill works. So she's also a hero that will slot any team. You don't care about her synergies, she can slot any team and she will make any team as strong as Fate heroes do, minus slightly weaker, but maybe even stronger. Honestly, it's all pretty here in the same line in my opinion. So all 3 heroes are absolute must pick. If you got 2, pick the third. If you got all 3, exceptional, move to the next tier. So in the next tier we have the fight manipulators, which I consider to be heroes that can decide the entire fight. For example, we have Leviathan. Now if we go to the Leviathan skill, you will see that her main skill is this one. While Leviathan is alive, there's 50% chance that enemy heroes' active skills will redirect their damage to themselves. This becomes irrelevant if they have Leviathan. So Leviathan is a pretty RNG thing that you can rely on to win you battles. As I said, it's RNG thing that you can rely on, because more often than not, the heroes have a lot of actions and this will trigger a lot of times. It will win you battles, it will impact the battles, not to talk about her synergies alone, which are insane, and her HP boost is into the base stats, so you increase the max HP by 50% from the base, which is not insane in this mode because the base stats are not as big, but again it's impactful, and again she's a Doom Monarch, she will fit pretty much any team. Now the same goes, so I won't go over every single hero, but the majority of these things matter for all of them. For example, Odin, she will negate all of your holy shields and she has Pandora like burst and scaling. She will outscale you, she will demolish you. Gaia, she can manipulate you with her speed. Mostly fits phantoms. I think she might be a hero that goes a tier below though, not that I think about it. But if you can properly use her speed manipulation, for example, use Hades and Wu Zetian with her, so they have the priority of the Phantom Illusion and Steal, or rather the Eat, they will guarantee that, and you will have 2 opponents in round 2 basically, or rather 3, since you will steal 2 of them. Behemoth, Doom Monarch has scaling from her death, has Taunt, has ults, really amazing here. Aphrodite, Phantom Illusion, Massive Ults, insane scaling as well. Same goes for Elisha, same goes for Narissa. Narissa, one of the best heroes in here. Bahamut, you might not be familiar with Bahamut because she's really under the radar, but she's really strong. She increases the entire team HP by 60 million, so she's as close as it gets to Hela, and she has 40% chance to apply Tremor to enemies at the start of each round. Tremor is a stun that can basically stop everything, so Bahamut, one of the better heroes in the Dimensional Arena. Synergies are not ideal, but she works exceptionally well in Protectors. She will give them the needed HP for survival. She's a Deviant and she's a Glorian, so really amazing synergies, really great skills. She does the damage, but not as much in seasonal content. And yeah, that's about it. So all the heroes in Fight Manipulators teams are somewhat ranked in the order, but not really. As I said, I would move Gaia a tier below, but the rest I would leave them where they are. So yeah, Fight Manipulators are the second priority, but now let's go over to the buff/debuffs. So these heroes are as close as it gets to the Fight Manipulator. So if you will want to have them, you will want at least some of them, because scaling in this game mode is very important. You will need a lot of scaling in this game mode to win. If you don't have scaling, you will get outscaled and therefore you will lose the battle. So these heroes are also as important as the Fight Manipulators, but Fight Manipulators do it in a better way, because they have more often than not, they have both the scaling and they can win the fights on their own pretty much. I didn't put Wu Zetian in the Fight Manipulators tier because I think her thing that's stopping her from being that is her epic runes. Since Dimensional Arena is limited to epic runes, I think she only shines with 2 at the minimum and really ideal at the legendary. She's really reliable at legendary runes, whereas at epics she's just here for survival more than the steal itself. But then again, that doesn't really make her low priority because she's still one of the top tier heroes in the game mode. So as you can see, there's a lot of heroes that you might not expect, and some of them is Fenrir. Fenrir is one of the worst heroes in seasonal content, and that's because all of her scaling is limited to flat. The flat scaling in the seasonal content is really low. In non-seasonal content, this is pretty noticeable and is really big. So whenever allies cast ultimates, active skills, or basic attacks, they gain 6 million HP with no limit. This is insane in Dimensional Arena. She can fit a lot of teams. She's not really limited to Avengers as you would expect, and she also has her Old Force unlocked, so she has scaling and she has healing conversion. This is not a joke because she's really strong and scary in Dimensional Arena. Her scaling is really insane, her damage is pretty insane as well. So she's not a hero you want to skip, despite being used to her being like a garbage tier hero. She's in Dimensional Arena one of the better tier heroes. Same could be said for the Ying Zheng, and, because he's not really popular in the normal circumstances, but in Dimensional Arena he's scaling. Whenever allies take damage, they gain a million attack and defense, so as I said, it's pretty underrated thing to have. His Old Force is really amazing as well. He has double action, he can give you fortitude, he can increase the dodge rate, or he can sweep, he can use his ultimate again, or even heal your team. So Ying Zheng is definitely not a hero you want to sleep on. He as well can fit a lot of teams, he's not really limited to Avengers. So that's the thing with this tier, the buff/debuffs. A lot of these heroes are not really limited to their synergy. They're here because they will provide insane buffs to themselves or their team. For example, insane buffs to themselves is someone like Hecate. Hecate will increase her own attack by 100 million. This is often enough to take down even Hela teams. So Audrey the same pretty much. So just alone these heroes can carry you, but they require some fine-tuning. Whereas these heroes that benefit the whole team do not require any fine-tuning. You can just slap them in any team and they will work. For example, we have Ra. Ra is known also to be one of the worst heroes in seasonal content, but in non-seasonal she has this passive. She increases the max HP of all allies by 20 million. She also protects all allies from the damage and gains 2 holy shields each round. Now holy shields, getting rid of them in this Dimensional Arena is pretty hard because Not everyone is going to have 2 Celestials to proc the Purify, and not everyone, and there's no hindrance, or rather the Celestial unique runes. So Holy Shield hold insane value. She also has the dual effect, which will make your second strongest ally target their second strongest ally. The overall Lara is one of the better heroes as well. So just this tier, buffers, debuffers, is a tier that is as good as fight manipulators. I don't want you to look at this tier list and say the heroes above are clearly better. For example, you could have Gaia or Ford, and in the other card selection you could have Tiamat and Yingzheng. You would obviously want to pick Tiamat and Yingzheng over Alon Gaia, for example. The same rule I would apply to pretty much any PvP fight manipulator there is. Maybe not all of them. I would pick someone like Odin and Leviathan despite having 2 good options. Maybe not even. It's really hard. It depends on the other heroes that you have. And yeah, as I said, the buffers, debuffers is a really strong tier and is not really worse than fight manipulators at all. They're really close to one each other, and you shouldn't look at it as these heroes are clearly better than the heroes below. No, that's not the case. Both are equally important in the fights. Some just buff the teams and manipulate the fight, however the others just buff the teams to the extent that could go crazy in the long run. For example, Tiamat. Why is Tiamat here? She doesn't buff any heroes on your team. While she doesn't do that, she will reduce attack of all enemies by 200% each round, stacking 10 times. She will make enemy teams damage 0. When is this irrelevant? When they have Avengers. When is this not irrelevant? Anytime. She can slot it any team, especially good if you can slot her with Phantoms. Phantoms in this game mode are insanely good. So yeah, just overall a really strong hero. She will make enemies deal 0 damage to you if you manage to survive that long, and shouldn't be overlooked at all. So yeah, if you have like 2 choices of buffers, debuffers against like Pandora, I would always pick the buffers, debuffers. Pandora in this mode is not impressive in my opinion. She's really good, she can be insane if there's setup for her, but I would take 2 buffers or debuffers in my team over 1 single Pandora. That's just my take. However, let's move to the next tier and see what's there. So as I mentioned, the always pick tier is the tier that you should be always picking. Then the fight manipulators and the buffers, debuffers tiers is the pretty much same tier, just different things heroes do. But nonetheless, all heroes are exceptional in there. Now, if we move to the needs synergy tier, these heroes, they really need synergy to work. So, for example, Lancelot does need either Mystifiers or Protectors. Protectors minimal requirement is 4 in my opinion. Really ideal at 5, but 4 is minimal for Lancelot. If you manage to get 4 for Lancelot, remember he has epic runes in here, so he will repose his attacks back to enemy, and that's far more odds to steal enemy heroes with his Phantom Illusion runes than without them. Other than that, he can slot Mystifiers. I would say the same goes for Mulan. Mulan ideal in Protectors or Mystifiers. Her burn in this mode is not as big because there's not a lot of HP. The majority of that goes to all these heroes. So someone like Wukong would really slot in either 6 Ethereal or 5 or 4 Protectors. Does require Gourd in my opinion. Janna, Avengers, Phantoms. Elovin, Ethereals, Phantoms. Althea, Avengers, Phantoms. Suki, only Mystifiers, just Mystifiers. Or there's a version where you could, if you get Emily and Tsuki, you could play them in any team. So you will have some initial stats stolen by Tsuki due to Emily. But yeah, other than that, if you don't have Tsuki with Emily, I don't suggest playing Tsuki at all outside of Mystifiers. If there's Tsuki and you have Mystifiers, feel free to play her, but as I said, only strict to Mystifiers. Dorabella does insane amount of follow-ups upon crits, so she's really insane in Ethereals, especially if paired with the newer version Arcane Dorabella. Catherine is really decent, she has pretty good attack conversion to the team, but she's, in my opinion, strict to Mystifiers. And overall a good hero, but yeah, I wouldn't run her outside of Mystifiers. All heroes follow this rule pretty much in this tier. So either the first or the third synergy filler. Most of the cases, the rune synergy is minimal 4, unless it's monarchs. Monarchs can work at 3, but phantoms and the protectors minimum 4, ideal 5. Don't run enchanters, don't run strikers, they are not that good. So for the next tier called niche fillers, these heroes are not amazing. They're just fillers that can fill the team and really not excel on their own or not likely carry. I would like to exclude someone like Portia and Eudora in here, and Lachesis for her unique. She will basically disable enemy holy shields. And other heroes that I would like to mention is Marlena and Dullahan, pretty much. So Portia is really amazing. She's really strong. I would suggest playing her either in the Monarch setup or in the Ethereal setup. Maybe could even work in any setup if you can increase her attack so her bombs deal insane damage. But yeah, overall a really nice filler, really nice hero to have and feel the synergy if needed. Eudora is only good with 3 Ethereals because Sage Storm doesn't work in this mode, and she has epic exclusive runes, so really small chance to trigger her extra ultimates, and she really does need 3 Ethereals to get the needed crit rate to fulfill the rune synergy of getting the second cast off, so pretty RNG, and the only best part about her is applying the healing rapture, which could win you the fight against someone like Victoria. Because if you apply healing rapture and Victoria does her attack, she will heal all team and the healing rapture will kill the entire team pretty much. And apart from that, Lee is also a really nice hero. He can slot in monarchs or protectors, so Dullahan mostly in mystifiers but can slot as a monarch filler. Katrina is pretty good in protectors because she provides nice shields for them, and Talos as well as Dullahan does, but he's basically celestial, and I think he's slightly more important unless you need corrode stacks. So if you need corrodes, Dullahan is a better choice. Albert, I don't think you should sleep on Albert. Albert is pretty good when it comes to filling the Avengers or Monarch synergy because he will increase the skill damage. Merlin, same goes for Merlin, either mostly fit him in the Dooms if you need a Doom, but yeah, that's about it. Overall, this tier is just the 5th/4th hero tiers. Like, you're not going to prioritize these heroes, but they're really nice to have if you don't have the heroes below them, so or the heroes above them. So if you can't really pick, these heroes will do the job of filling the spot. And the last 2 tiers are not worthy mentioning in my opinion, because the generally bad avoid tier says for itself these heroes are pretty bad. There's a pretty decent chance that Elerian is decent because of the physical damage immunity he provides, but that's left to be tested. And the other heroes, for example, why is Mavis so damn low? Because she's only 9 stars and she's only epic runes. 9 stars Mavis is not good. Mavis needs 11 stars to do her consistent bombing of the enemy team. She could fill the 5th Avenger, 5th Monarch team, but she's not going to perform as she performs usually. Same goes for Doris. Doris is really good and could fill the 5 to 7 Doom synergy, but she doesn't have her legendary runes, so you're relying on the RNG to duplicate the Doom's damage, reflect damage. Same goes for any other hero in this team. Really good filler for the 5th to 7th synergy, but apart from that, they're not heroes that you want to pick at all. So yeah, hopefully I have explained this tier list how I wanted to. I'm not sure if you'll understand it or if it's understandable enough. But to recap, always pick heroes. What the title says, you will always pick them. Fight manipulators and debuffers, pretty much the same tier heroes. Just the top ones are slightly better, but if you get offered the 2 buffers against 1 fight manipulator, it's very likely going to be pick the 2 buffers. Because the buffers really do play a crucial role in this game mode. Need synergy, as I said, mostly just the Valkyrie synergy or Rune synergy fillers that rely on 4th or 5th member of the same synergy. Otherwise, not really worth slotting in my opinion. Niche fillers, great for the 4th or 5th hero filler in the team. Eudora needs 3 Ethereals to work, so keep that in mind. And yeah, that's about it. Just a not so short dimensional arena tier list. Hopefully I have been clear about the fight manipulators against the buffers, debuffers. I have a fear people will read this incorrectly, so I wanted to explain that tier particularly more in depth, and other tiers are pretty self-explanatory for themselves. So that's it for this video, and see you in the next one.